Trivedi. I hope everyone can hear me. Cool. Yeah. First of all, we want to apologize for starting late. Yeah. I think that's all I can say about that. I hope it's gonna be okay. We're gonna try to make this as interactive, fun, and short as possible, because I know people are waiting to see the opening of the World Cup. Maybe it's happening now. I'm not a big fan of football. Yeah, but we want to appreciate and thank you so much for taking your time to come. This is Beyond Music, dialogue conversation with our lovely stars from Tanzania. And before we go into the discussion with our artists, we want to acknowledge the presence of some people on the audience. One of them is a professor from Columbia University. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to help me pronounce your name. But he's gonna do an opening remark for us, and probably you'll be able to introduce yourself much better. So welcome, sir.
Hello everyone, and welcome. It seems kind of awkward that, sorry, I'm standing in front of you. This is better, yeah? There we go. I don't want to disrespect the artist. It seems kind of awkward that an American is welcoming you to your own city, which is Dar es Salaam. But, It's too bad. But I'd like to take, or I do take great pride in saying that I've been in Tanzania now since December, so 6 months. So almost a local. Can I pass for a local here with you guys? No, everyone's shaking their heads. Yeah, okay. You should be selective. It's a fine country, and I've been fortunate enough to see parts of it. The university, obviously, which was and is a fine institution, the University of Dar es Salaam, many other parts of the country that you are obviously well more acquainted with than I am. But thank you very much for having me here on behalf of Columbia University, the Mailman School of Public Health, and obviously the global centers. As some of you may know, Columbia University has a presence here in Nairobi, not too far in East Africa. I'd like to welcome all of you to this lovely event. Going back to the question of who I am and what I am doing here, and what my name is, I would like to say that my name is Professor Yogi Trivedi. I don't levitate, I don't do yoga, it's just my given name, right? And I teach in the journalism school, which is closely related to this idea of training journalists in a way that will be able to shape the way the rest of the world gains information, processes that information, and then articulates it around the world. And not to just make cookie-cutter American journalists and media men, but to train them in a way that they can go to Dar es Salaam, they can go to Nairobi, Kenya, they can go to parts of the Middle East and India and Europe where I've traveled with my own students, and to learn from how media, journalism, and culture work in those areas, and then how we can bring that back to America and make it relevant to the way we teach journalism. So we're, in effect, training a global journalist, a global media man in New York, and then sending them out back to wherever they are from in the world. My own research has nothing to do with journalism, though I used to work for CNN and CBS and NY1 and a bunch of media outlets, New York Times in New York. My own work is on South Asia, on India, and I work with a very different kind of media, one that the musicians here will appreciate a lot more. I work with poetry and its musical expressions in Gujarat, India. The running joke is if you're standing at the Cape Town Fish Market on a good day, you might be able to see the western coast of India. It's a joke, sorry, a bad one. There you go, thank you. At least the moderator's laughing. But I work with poetry and music, and what I've learned, and a question that I get often is, what does journalism, media, televisions and cameras, what do they have to do with religion, poetry, and music? And I've come to realize that music is the link. Music is the unifying factor that has helped me bring together my modern sort of contemporary career in journalism and media, and connect it with what I do in researching ancient and early modern poetry and music in India. I'd like to share one story and then hand the microphone over, the platform over to our respected guests and the moderator. I was traveling in Jordan and Syria, and I don't like to tell this story usually in public, but I think this is one that really drives home the point of the conversation that we're going to have today. To think of music in ways beyond just entertainment. It's a very important part of entertainment, but beyond that, to think of ways that music can help inform. We have a student of medicine here I came to know earlier while I was interacting with the crowd, and information technology and politics. We just had a few ambassadors here who were waiting for the event to start. And I mean, a bunch of people who have realized that music is an important register, an important language, and an important tool to affect social change and to make the world a smaller place, to help people connect from diverse backgrounds. While I was traveling in Jordan, I was invited to give a talk. I'm a Hindu, and I study Hindu poetry, really. But I was invited to give a talk in a mosque. And it was quite different from me, because in India it would be almost impossible for a Hindu to be invited to give a talk in a mosque. But I was there. It was a very progressive mosque in Amman, Jordan. And there, he said, these are the three things that you can't speak about. He said, no talking about reincarnation, no talking about idols, images, or what we like to call in Sanskrit murtis, you may have seen in Hindu temples, and no talking about the soul or comparative work. So I cannot say that just as Islam or Christianity have X and Y, Hinduism has X and Y. And I started scratching my head. And I said, where will I start this conversation? How do you speak about Hinduism without talking about any of this? And then something went off in my head. It was a song, a Sanskrit song which has Persian and Arabic lyrics in it. And I won't sing it now, so I'll save you. I'm also a musician, but a different kind of musician. May I? Okay, just 30 seconds worth. Sun sun batiya chatiya siri होत है जब निरखत शीतल दो तारे प्रेमानंद घनश्याम पिया मोर जन्म सुधारन हरे सुधारन हरे मोहन प्यारे. That's just a small bit. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Just a small bit of what I sang there, and all of a sudden, the entire mosque was at ease. I was at ease. The imam was at ease. The audience was at ease, and the women who were sitting in the balcony, they obviously sit separately in the mosque, were at ease, and it made it so much easier for me to connect, to relate, and to articulate my thoughts about Hinduism and Hindu poetry to the audience that was there. Obviously, the conversation tonight will be about Tanzania, the conversation will be about Africa, but my point is that if you have been kind and generous enough to invite me from the journalism school, an American man who works on Indian poetry and music, and still have found a way for me to fit into the program, I think there's something we can do, something special we can do with music in this country, in this part of the world. And I look forward to hearing more from the artists who are here today and the audience through their questions and learning how it is that we can affect that change through music. Thank you once again, welcome, and I look forward to tonight's evening.
Wow, what an incredible opening speech. Yeah, I mean, we all relate to music in so many different ways. While he was doing his opening remark, I just remembered that I haven't actually even introduced myself. So I'll do that first, and then jump into the discussion with a condition that before any one of you start speaking, they'll introduce themselves. That's okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. So my name is William Otuck. I am an artist myself, but also I am an advocate for reproductive health, gender issues, and family planning, and so many related stuff. I work for an organization called the International Youth Alliance for Family Planning. Basically, it's a network of young people around the world who are actually advocating for family planning and reproductive health. And in Tanzania, I'm running a coalition of youth-led organizations that are working on reproductive health. So I am so much passionate about social work and social activism and advocacy, but also because I'm an artist myself, I have a very, very special interest in how we can use music, or how we use music to actually talk about some of these social issues that are affecting our communities each and every day. And over the last year or two, I've been doing that through my own music, and a lot of incredible things have been happening, and this is why we're here. This is why we want to talk about that. We want to talk about how we can use not only our voices, but also our image, our influence, how the people are looking at us to actually influence and engage the community into these discussions of the things that are affecting our communities. So that's about me. I'm going to bring it back to the lovely panel here, and the first thing that I want you guys to tell us about is who you are, your name, and tell us a little bit about your music. So, where do we start?
Choose one.
Maybe ladies first? Okay. Yeah, sure.
All right.
No problem.
Yeah, naitwa Diana Isabel Clavel na wengi wananifahamu kama Malaika. Ni mwanamuziki wa hapa Tanzania. Na shughuli yangu kubwa pia ni ambassador wa Sickle Cell. Na shughuli yangu kubwa ni kufanya muziki ambao utaweza kuwa na ujumbe, kuweza kuelimisha jamii. Lakini vile vile sasa hivi nimejikita sana muziki wangu kubadilisha, kwa sababu tayari nimeshatengeneza fan base nzuri. Nataka nitumike kama mwanamuziki, lakini pia katika vitu vya kijamii. Na niseme tu kwamba kwa nini niliweza kuingia kwenye muziki na kwa nini sasa hivi ninajishughulika na masuala ya kijamii, au kwa nini niliamua kuingia kwenye masuala ya kijamii, kuisaidia jamii au kupigia kelele kitu ambacho kipo kwenye jamii kinasumbua jamii yetu ya Tanzania. Wakati nikiwa mdogo nilikuwa ninasumbuliwa sana na magonjwa ambayo yalikuwa yananifanya kutocheza pamoja na watoto wenzangu. Na nafikiri kwamba kila mtu anafahamu umuhimu wa kuunganika na watoto wenzako ukiwa mdogo. Hicho kitu kilinitesa na kilinifanya kutokuwa huru kuweza kuzungumzia hisia zangu. Katika kujifariji, niliweza kusema kwamba hakuna kitu kingine ambacho kinaweza kunifariji isipokuwa muziki. Sorry. Mara nyingi nilikuwa napenda kusikiliza muziki kwa sababu ni kitu pekee yake ambacho kwa kinanipa amani. Na kwa nini niliweza kuingia kwenye muziki baada ya kukua? Niliamini ni kitu ambacho kinaweza kumgusa mtu na kubadilisha maisha yake. Na nilijikuta kuwaza kwamba kuna watu wangapi au watoto wangapi ambao wamepitia kwenye hali yangu. Kwa sababu katika ukubwa nilikuja kujigundua kwamba siko sawa na watu wengine, sishirikiani na watu wengine. Kwa sababu nyuma nilikuwa natengwa hata nikiwa shule. Solution pekee ilikuwa ni muziki. Na baada ya kuingia kwenye muziki, kutengeneza fan base kubwa, iliona kuna umuhimu wa kuweza kuwasaidia watu ambao wana matatizo kama ya kwangu. So nipo kupigania uhuru wa mtu mwenye matatizo kama ya kwangu, na nipo kuiburudisha jamii kupitia ujumbe ambao unaweza kuibadilisha society, community. Kwa kusema haya, napenda niwashukuru wote. Mengine maybe naweza kuzungumza baadaye, wenzangu baada ya kuzungumza. Asante.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a little bit of a translation, and I'm not sure if I can capture the. I know even those who don't speak Swahili can relate to the emotion that was put into that speech. So her name is Diana. She is well known as Malaika, which means angel, by the way. She is one of the most popular R&B bongo flavor artists in the country. She's been making hit by hit in the last few years. But right now, she's also an ambassador for an organization that is working on helping people with sickle cell anemia. And she's trying to focus her music into helping the society, helping the community, and do something positive for her music. So the reason why she feels like she's obligated to do this is because of her personal experience in life. So when she was a kid, Diana had some kind of illness that was not allowing her to go out there and play and associate with the kids same way normal kids would do. And we are all adults, but we remember when we were kids. The last thing you want as a kid is not to be able to associate with your kids. So that was a very, very bad experience to her. She felt like she doesn't belong to a community that she was supposed to belong. And it was a very devastating experience. And it's why she feels like it's very important for a person in her position, considering the fact that she has been able to accomplish a lot from there, and that now she's famous. She has a fan base. She's influential. She wants to use that voice, that platform that she already have, to help people who are in a situation that she used to have before. So I think that can relate with the work that you're doing with people with sickle cell anemia. I know most of people, especially kids who are always sick, they normally don't associate with other kids. So I want to thank you so much for sharing that with us, Malaika. Your personal story is very important, and this is why we feel like it's very important to have these conversations, because our own personal experience usually get us into doing what we do. So thank you so much. Yeah, so I guess the next one will be Wakazi. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Webiro Noel Wasira, but I'm famously known as Wakazi. I have other aliases, but that's the one that sticks out the most. I don't want to bore you with too many names, but yeah, I'm known as Wakazi. I'm a hip-hop/rap recording artist from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Stakishari Ukonga to be exact. Well, my journey as far as music started a long time ago, because I've been influenced by my big brothers when I was young. They used to be into music, into the Big Daddy Kanes, the LL Cool J's. The whole culture, American culture, hip hop and R&B. So I used to listen music from them, and I was very curious. And by the time I started going outside playing with other kids, fortunately, they used to be influenced by their brothers as well. So the people that I made friends with were the same people, the people who were liking the same things that I was liking or I was into. So automatically we started like rapping and singing, whatever. But it wasn't like a serious thing. But by the time I was done with high school and I was ready to seek higher learning, I got an opportunity to go to the United States to study. So I was in Chicago for a number of years there, going to school, going to college. And then from there, I really started like being serious on the music. Before I left here, there was an eruption of the music industry, the so-called bongo flavor, the new era music or whatever, muziki wa kizazi kipya they call it. But I never really got into it because I was still going to school, and my family was looking at me because I come from an academic type of family. They looked for me to do other things and pursue different avenues in life. So I never really got into doing music. But when I got there, I started meeting these guys who I used to look up to, used to listen to Wu-Tang. I used to meet Rakim. I met KRS One. So when I met them and I told them I was into hip hop and I wished to do it, they encouraged me to do it. So I took this step. I was like, okay, now I'm in the US. I'm Tanzanian. I could rap in English. I could rap in Swahili. I need to find something that I could give out to the community that's going to be a little bit different from everybody else. That's when I was dubbed, one of my name actually is called a bilingual beast, whereby I could rap in English and in Swahili. So I started recording mixtapes because I was like, okay, I'm in America, but the large amount of people who would understand what I do are in Tanzania. So the best thing to do is to release a series of mixtapes and send them to Tanzania, so that my name will be actually ringing up there in the streets or in the media. By the time I'm done with whatever I'm done in the US, going back to Tanzania, it will be like I'm not starting all over or something like that. So I started doing a lot of mixtapes. I got a little famous out there. I started performing. I started living in Chicago. I would go to different cities, to Dallas, to Houston, Washington, D.C., Minneapolis, Columbus, Ohio. So I started getting famous within the community, the Tanzanian diaspora community. And then it became East African community. Every time artists from Uganda will come or from Kenya will perform with it. So that then grew to African community. I started performing in big events with Nigerian acts and Ghanaian acts, to a point where everybody was like, I think for you to really do this as a career, there's a need for you to go back to Tanzania and actually do it seriously from there. Then you could come back, because most of the people by then in Nigeria who were doing well were artists who actually came from the diaspora, came from the UK, came from the US, from Canada, the Banky W's, the MIs who went to school in Michigan or stuff like that, the P Square from Canada or something like that. So all of them came from there, went back to their countries and made a difference. So there was a need for me to come back to Tanzania and make the same difference in my community, as far as having the exposure I had and the level of understanding of business of music, and at the same time the art of music, given that I'm also the type of artist who was into the technical part of music more than just the entertainment of it, because I'm a lyrical MC and stuff like that. So I made that, I took the chance, I came back, and I've been doing music. I think now it's 5 years since I'm back from the US. I've been doing music, and I'm a lyrical MC, but I don't have just one way. I'm very versatile. So most of the times, I'm not just rapping. What I'm saying has to have a meaning, has to have a positive impact to my community. So my music has variations of what I speak on, and if I see something that's relating to the community or injustice, social injustice, I'm usually quick to speak on matters like that. So that's basically how my music is. It's very diverse, but at the same time, the core of my music is the technicality of it and being able to relate to the community and fight injustices and other issues in the community that need to be advocated to make sure that positive change will be seen and come through. So that's all about me. I've been working recently. I've been working with Ijango's Idea. That's an orphanage somewhere in Sinza for the kids who lost their parents. So I work with them. I'm like a goodwill ambassador for them. And also I'm working with something called the Kili Project, which is we're trying to fight the deforestation that's happening in Tanzania, which is affecting the climate throughout the country, but more specifically the Kilimanjaro area. Like right now, Mount Kilimanjaro is losing the icing cape on top, so we need to fight the deforestation, stuff like that. Or even the water issue. We have problems right now where we don't have enough water. And if there's no forest, it's not going to be rain. With no rain, you can't have water. So clean water is a problem. And those are kind of issues that I'm usually working on and making sure that I'm beyond just an artist or just a lyricist or just entertain, but I'll have a positive impact in my community, and I could speak on different issues. I'm actually very popular on Twitter. If some of you are on Twitter, I'm very outspoken. I'm not scared. Sometimes my music will be entertainment and positive rap, the lyricism and stuff, but still I will be on Twitter very vocal, talk about political issues and different social issues, economic issues, because I went to school on those issues as well. So most of the time I speak stuff that I know, but even if I don't know, I will probe and ask and stuff like that to make sure that whatever I'm speaking, I have facts and they will change somebody's thinking and perspective, so to speak. So Wakazi, on Twitter is Wakazi, Instagram Wakazi Music, Facebook is Wakazi, YouTube is Wakazi Music. Looking forward for the discussion.
Yeah. I remember being a fan of Wakazi since he was like in the US. And I know in the future in this conversation we have two hip hop art, actually three, four. Oh my God, it's hip hop in here. Being a very good fan, not only fan, but also I consider myself part of hip hop sometimes. Yeah, we can talk about how hip hop culture also can be influential in the community. I mean, there's a lot of discussion around that, considering what's going on. Sure. So next one is
Frida.
Yeah, Frida. I wanted to say that, but I wanted you to say it.
Hello, what's up? Are you all good? You're smiling. I like that. So my name is Frida Amani. I'm a rapper. At the same time, I'm a presenter at East Africa Radio, one of the biggest stations in Tanzania. A lot of people got a chance to know me through music, because that's where I started as an artist. I was in these competitions called BSS. So people got a chance to know me, but I started music a long time ago.
Wait, so BSS is Bongo Stars.
Exactly, it's Bongo Stars. They were looking for stars, and I am one. So it was nice. At the age of 7, I realized that I wanted to do music, because as I was growing up, my attitude, the way I was, everything was off to a lot of people. People thought maybe I was too aggressive and everything. So I had to find a way to connect with people, and through all that, I found out that hip-hop is the only thing that can help me. So I started writing and talking about myself in the music and telling people, but I still didn't do it because it's hip-hop. So everybody was like, you cannot do hip-hop and everything, and things like that. So I started releasing, going to the studios. I'm from a church family, so I started singing at church and everything. So at the end of the day, I came to realize there were things that I wanted in my life, and one of the things is to be somebody that I'll be comfortable with. And I think that's the thing that everybody struggles with, to be comfortable with yourself. And through all that, to be comfortable with myself, I decided, like, from now on, if it's not going to be my music that's going to take me there, I'll just go there. If it's not for me, it's for a lot of people who can't be comfortable with themselves. That's how I realized that my calling isn't just to be a rapper, to be a presenter, but also to be a leader to a lot of people. As an influencer, people look at me and say, oh, that girl. I used to say to a lot of people, oh, I want to be that girl. And I really wanted to be that girl. But now I am that girl. As that girl, what am I doing to the community? So I thought about it. I've worked hard enough. Not enough, actually. I'm still working at. I hope it will be enough someday. Whatever. I'm hoping. So I felt like through all that, maybe I can really be a person that people look at and say, you know what, I want to be that girl. Because that girl fought so hard to be where she is. Because that girl knows exactly where she want to be. So with all that, I've worked with different people. As where I work in my office as East Africa Radio, we have worked with different kind of people. It's crazy in the system of today in Tanzania. there are students who cannot go to school because there are things that they cannot have. Like, for example, girls, they cannot have pads. So through all that, I've learned so much, and I've learned that my purpose here in life is to make sure that the things that I have, the things that stopped me back then, will not stop another, because that person will learn through me. So that's me, Frida and Amani. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hello guys, my name is Mr. Busy, aka Bizness, aka Izzo Business. I represent Bear. I'm a music artist, but I'm doing hip hop. I'm just happy to be here.
We all lucky to have you.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to contribute the topic of discussion that we're going to discuss tonight. I think it's enough, right? Thank you, guys.
There's a lot we're going to be talking in the future. So yeah, thank you for that brief introduction.
So I really appreciate it, and I just thank you guys for that big invite.
Yeah,
for
like
me,
I said,
right? Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, and I can't wait to contribute and sharing with my fellow artists. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So before Rosa speak, just because just want to let the audience know that we are joined by lovely diva Rosary. I'm sure she's going to introduce herself. So in the first thing that people were doing, you're not that much late because we just stopped getting started. So you'll introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your music, and then we'll take it from there.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm Rosary, aka the goddess of rap. Well, my journey in music has been, well, rough and worth it, I would say, because it is what I always wanted to do. I started loving music since I was very, very, very young, since I was very little. I remember I used to watch Sister Act, and I would be, oh, happy day. And everybody would say, I can sing, and I didn't know how to sing. I couldn't. So my family would just push me towards it and show me that I could, and I believe the support that I had from them is the reason why I'm Rosary today. But the thing that pushed me most is my whole journey in my actual life, like beyond the music. Apart from the musical side of my journey, I used to definitely have a very tough life, and my music is my life, not in the sense that music is everything to me, but in the sense that I translate my life in my music. Like when you listen to my music, it's the story of my life. Every song, every lyric, everything that I write, every poem is just generally me and my journey. So basically, I can't wait to share with you guys, because since this is an introduction, I don't want to bore you with the whole story, but for those of you who haven't heard my songs, just go to YouTube, Rosary, and catch my songs there. Probably you'll get half of the story or quarter of the story, because I'm still going on with my story, so yeah.
That's a great pitch, actually. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for sharing that with us. And so if one thing you've learned from this introduction is that all these artists here make music not just for the sake of making music, but because they can relate so much to the music that they're making, and for some reason their life experiences is what actually pushed them to be doing what they're doing today. So just kind of like to get a picture, I just want to ask you, how do you think music as music can be used as a tool to actually make social change? If you have any insight, and this is gonna be random. Feel free if you want to respond to that, and if you don't feel like we want to respond to that in the next question, then that's fine.
How can music be used as a tool?
As a
to
tool
make
for a
change?
social change, yeah.
I believe we learn, for me, we learn from people's experiences, people's pasts, people's history. You can learn from a lot of things, but for me, how music relates to that, people who are artists like us, like me personally, I put my history and my life inside my music. So people in the society can see where Rosary has been, what Rosary has done, the path that Rosary has taken, and what is and what isn't to do about their life. Relating to people's experiences, we don't go through the exact same story, but we go through a couple of things that are kinda similar, or somewhat alike. So basically, you could relate with another person's experience and be like, okay, since they did this and it didn't work, maybe I should do this, maybe it could work. So that's just one way. There's many other ways that us as artists can just put message in the music, because music is not just music without message. Without message, the music is meaningless. So you have to put message in your song. A message that would come up, when someone would come across the song, they would actually relate their issues or their experiences and learn something out of your song or out of your experience that you put in the song. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so what I got from your point is that two ways actually. So one, when you put your life experiences in your music, then people can learn from your experiences. And second, you can actively put some messages, specific messages into your music so that people can actually hear that. Yeah, sure. Does anyone want to add more to that? Like, what other means or other ways that we think music can be used as a social change tool?
Okay, music can be used as a tool for social changes, because most of the time the people who listen to music are the youth, and the youth are the people who are actually responsible for the trends in the community. So, and most of the times, whatever we say as artists, because the youth idolize us, so whatever we say, they tend to do, also, which means they listen and they take action. So the moment we're going to say something positive, or we're going to address something about maybe social injustice or political inequality or whatever, they're going to listen to it, and more so they might take charge and act on it. So I'm sure that the more, that's why we have this saying about social responsibility. As artists, we have that, or it's mandatory, we have to take care of that, because the moment we mislead them, and the youth is a bigger part of the population, that means they're going to do the things that are not going to be good or whatever for the community. So it's a must for us to make sure that we're responsible for what we are saying in the music, you know, or when we see something that we think needs to be addressed or changed, we have to say it and not just not use it, the power of the voices of which is the voice for the voiceless, not use it, and instead we just care for ourselves and not the community and the well-being of the community. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're saying because music, and especially the music that we're doing, is highly celebrated by young people, and young people trust the artists, like they trust you guys. So whatever you're putting out there, that's what they're going to do. So that's how influential the music can be. So getting into like real examples, how has that worked out so far, as far as your music is concerned? So for example, I know Izzo, at some point you had one of the major hits out there. Again, I'm sure that can you tell us a little bit more about that? How that music was able to kind of like do something for the society, because I know it was socially conscious.
Yeah, sorry for my voice, too big. Down. Yeah, talking about Ongen, I'm sure, you know, we're gonna start like an lyrics or the audio, right? I talked a lot of stuff, a lot of problems that are facing our society on that song. You know, I talked about the corruption, political issues. You know, I talked about poverty. You know, so that's why the song becoming big, because our society, like a lot of people, they're going through the same pain, right? So for me talking to that, like, for me talking to those problems, it didn't, like, I don't know what to say. Like, please give me time. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I'm shaking, looking white people looking at me. You know, I never used to this. You know, okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's okay. Yeah. I talked about. First, I started with the lyrics, and we was talking about the role of artists in solving the problems in the society. So the first one is lyrics, or I can say videos. Like, I do have this song called Tusiwatese. I talked about the women who lost their husbands. We call them widows. You know, the problems that they're facing. And that's the big problem in our country. So imekuwa rahisi kwa watu kujaribu kusupport na kuifanya wimbo uwe mkubwa, kwa sababu hicho ambacho nimeongelea ni kitu ambacho kipo kwenye jamii yetu na kimekuwa supported, kwa sababu ni vitu ambavyo vinaendelea kutokea. Na mimi kama msanii, kwa kutumia power yangu ama kwa kuyaona yale ambayo yanatokea kwenye jamii, au sio, nikijaribu kuwasilisha sasa kwa njia ya video, kwa kuwekea picha na watu kuona namna gani ambavyo hivyo vitu vinatokea, ama matatizo ambayo watu yanapata kutokana na hiyo story ambayo nimeleta pale. Hii inapelekea kwa vijana ama watu wengi, audience, kusupport kwa kiasi kikubwa na kusababisha wimbo kuwa mkubwa kiasi hicho, au kutengeneza attention kubwa katika jamii, au sio? Tutaenda sawa tu, kwa sababu unajua kidogo ilikuwa na nikiongelea kuhusu mashairi, mashairi mara nyingi tunasema wimbo ufanikiwe au kuwa mkubwa ni lazima uweze kugusa maisha ya watu wengi. Na nikiongelea kwa mfano wimbo kama Ongea na Mshua, nilijaribu kuongea matatizo mengi ambayo yalikuwa yanaendelea kutokea na yalikuwa katika jamii yetu kwa kipindi hicho. Ni wimbo ambao niliongea kama kumtuma mtoto wa rais kwenda kumweleza mzee matatizo ambayo sisi wananchi tunakumbana nayo. Kwa hiyo ilikuwa kubwa, kwa sababu kila mtu alihisi nimemuongelea, na vijana ndio walio support kwa kiwango kikubwa mpaka ule wimbo kufika katika level ile. Kwa hiyo mimi kama msanii kwa pati yangu, kwa kutumia njia ambazo naweza nikawasilisha na kuikomboa ama kuisaidia jamii yangu kuepukana na matatizo kadhaa na kadhaa. Cha kwanza lazima niangalie watu gani ambao nawalenga na issue gani ambao naizungumzia, na kupitia mziki, kwa sababu tayari ndani kuna entertainment, inakuwa rahisi kwa mtu kupokea na kufika na kusambaa kwa wakati, kwa haraka zaidi. Sidhani kama nimetoka nje.
No. Yeah, that was perfect. So
Sorry.
Yeah. So because the main question was how the experience of Ongea na Mshua, one of the major hit songs was, then you added some of the elements to it that also are very, very important, and you spoke that in Swahili, so the benefit of those who can speak Swahili. He was actually talking about why it's important for whatever you will put into your song to relate to what the community or the people are going through.
Yeah.
So the success of the song was because everything that was said in that song was exactly what's happening in the community.
Yeah.
It's exactly what was happening. So people related to what you were saying.
Yeah.
And it felt like you are their voice. You are speaking for them.
Yeah.
So that one, and the other one, another example that you give of your other song, it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
Because there's the lyrics, there's the music, and then nowadays we have the videos where you can narrate a story that relates to other people. So music can also be used as a tool to tell the stories that people can learn from all kinds of platforms. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, thank you.
Anyone else wants to give any other example of how their music has impacted people? Anyhow?
All right. You know what I think, to my side? I believe we're dealing more with young people, and if we're dealing with young people, they want things that sometimes they want things that just makes them happy, not the truth and everything. So when you build your brand, people are going to follow that brand. What are you giving them? So it's not just about the music that you share with them. I think it's also about how wise you are. What do you tell them when you get a chance to speak? Like, if I get a chance to speak, what do I talk about? I think if you talk about things that really matters, I think that's the easiest way to deal with them, because they would just want to party and club with your music. But at the end of the day, you always goes to interviews, you always goes to different places. Like, for example, I'm here, so what do I do when I'm here? What do I tell people? Is it enough for them to actually learn and get a chance? So I think it's always about, when you build your brand, people are going to be focusing on what you're telling. So I think, to my side, it's more about what I speak every time I get a chance to speak about anything.
So thank you for saying that, because also we artists, we make music, we put music out there, we want to sell that music, right? So it has to be entertaining. But also, it's not only about the music, it's about our image. It's about who we are, how the community are looking at us. How would you communicate your message out of the songs that you're making to your audience or to your fans? So thanks for sharing that. So we've talked a little bit about the projects or the things that you're already doing. So, for example, Malaika talked a little bit about the sickle cell project. Maybe we can just do one round of things that you're currently doing. Maybe give us a little more details, and feel free, like, if you're involved in any social developmental project, please feel free to share with us. So maybe we can start with Malaika.
Kama brand ambassador wa sickle cell na ni mwanamuziki wa hapa Tanzania, kuna vitu vingi ambavyo mimi kama mimi naweza nikavifanya kuweza kubadilisha mawazo ya society. Kuna vitu vingi na imani watu wengi bado hawajavifahamu kuhusiana na sickle cell, ambao wanahitaji elimu kupitia watu ambao tayari wanaonekana ni jicho la jamii. Na ninaamini kwamba kama sisi wasanii tukitengeneza ujumbe wa kuelimisha jamii kuhusiana na jambo fulani, inakuwa ni rahisi kwa watu kuelimika, kwa sababu watu wanakuwa wanatutizama sisi. Na watu wanasema kwamba msanii ni kioo cha jamii, kwa sababu huwa wanaamini tuna kama uwezo, power fulani ambayo tuko nayo, tukiongea watu wengi wanaweza kutusikiliza. Kwa hiyo mimi kama mimi, na kutokana kwamba kuna watu wengi wananifuatilia, ninatumia fursa yangu kama mwanamuziki kuweza kuisaidia jamii kuelewa zaidi juu ya tatizo hili. Na sio hili tu, kuna watu wengine pia wanafanya project mbalimbali ambazo kuwasaidia watu kufunguka mawazo jambo fulani. Toka nimekuwa ambassador wa sickle cell, kuna vitu vingi ambavyo watu wanakuwa hawafahamu juu ya sickle cell. Ina athiri vipi, na unaweza ukaepukana nao vipi? Sorry, nakuwa na kigumizi kidogo kwa sababu this is the first time kuweza kuongea. Kwa hiyo ni experience mpya kwangu. nina sababu kubwa ya kuweza kuwasaidia watu kwa nafasi ambayo niko nayo, kwa sababu ninaamini kuna watu wengi wanafuatilia na kuna watu wengi wanahitaji kujua juu ya sickle cell, na ninaamini katika cheo ambacho niko nacho naweza kutumia uwanja wangu vizuri kuweza kuwasaidia watu. Lakini vile vile naweza kusema kwamba vyombo vya habari vikishirikiana na sisi wa Tanzania, sisi wanamuziki, huweza kutoa ujumbe juu ya watu ambao tunawapa ujumbe, tunawaangalia kuwapa ujumbe, tutaweza kufanya hii movement beyond the music kuwa kubwa zaidi, kwa sababu isiwe tu kwamba msanii anapofanya labda tukio fulani ambalo halina taswira nzuri kwenye jamii, basi ndio kitu cha kuongelea, lakini itumike chombo cha habari kuweza kumcover msanii anapofanya kitu kizuri kwenye jamii, ili kuweza kufanya jamii kuelewa hata kazi zingine ambazo zinafanyika nyuma ya burudani kwa msanii. Hicho ndio kitu ambacho naweza nikasema. Kwa mfano, mwenzangu hapa aliongelea kuhusiana na Kilimanjaro. Kama media zinaweza kumsupporti msanii kwenye kitu ambacho anaelimisha, inakuwa ni rahisi ujumbe kufika kwa haraka. Yeah, naweza kusema hivyo. Asante.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've raised very, very important issues. So, first of all, for the benefit of non-Swahili speaking people, she has talked a little bit about what she's doing under the as an ambassador for an organization that was working on sickle cell anemia. So, her work is mostly into raising the awareness of the community about, on sickle cell, because a lot of people actually don't know how to manage sickle cell patients. They don't know, like there's a lot of misunderstanding on how sickle cell is and how to deal with it. So her role in the organization, in the movement, on that project, is to connect with the community, to raise the awareness, to pass the message about sickle cell. And she feel like in her position, she's in a better position. I mean, as an artist, she's in a better position to do that as compared to if she was apparently not as an artist. The other thing that she mentioned, though, is that you can be an artist, you can be doing all these good things that you're doing, but if you're not getting the right media coverage, it's like nothing. Yeah. So, and this can relate to what Professor said about the importance of including journalists and journalism and music and artists, because that's the channel of communication that artists have with their audience. And oftentimes you find that when an artist does quote unquote a bad thing, they get a lot of media coverage, but when they go out there and do good stuff, nobody cares about them. So it's a call that she made to the journalists and people of media to make sure that they cover those good things that artists are doing, because that's how their work can be much more impactful. So thank you for that. Yeah, yeah, great. So who else wants to go? Sure.
Okay, I had mentioned earlier that I work with this project which is called the Kili Project, which is we're fighting the climate change, deforestation and stuff like that. And the major program that we're working on right now is called Tupo Pamoja project, which is we try to convince people to plant trees and donate money so we can plant trees around Mount Kilimanjaro, so that we can fight the deforestation around that area. And it's 2,500 per tree. So you can donate 2,500 per one tree. You can donate as many as you want. There was a campaign that we had. People were taking pictures, hugging trees. I think if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see that. And it's called the Tupo Pamoja Project. So we're working on that currently. And in July 6th, I think I'll be going to Moshi, where I'll participate with the locals there in the plantation, because there are a lot of people who already donated, and we appreciate that. And I'm going to be taking part. I think it's me, Karondosi, AY, which is also one of the big artists in Tanzania. We're also going to be participating with the locals into plantation of all these trees. So that's one of the projects that we're working on at the moment. I'm also part of a group, rap group, which is called Sisi Sio Kundi, SSK, with Zaid, PDMC, Ziyamoka, and we focus on social issues, different stuff about education, educating the community, especially the youth, into various stuff about HIV, AIDS, and malaria and stuff like that. So most of the time, whenever we perform together as a group, the proceedings will go to different organizations that is working on making sure that we're combating all the diseases and issues and awareness of different stuff. So as part of SSK, also I'm working with various groups, like I said. And I'm also looking forward to work with people who are less fortunate, especially the younger generation. It could be regular people. That's why I say that I'm a goodwill ambassador for Ijango's Idea Orphanage in Sinza. Like, if I don't have anything to donate, I could actually place them in a position where they could get help from different people. For instance, I worked with them, and I managed to get workers from Coca-Cola company to go there and donate whatever they could. And we did a show in Iringa 2 years ago with various artists, and the proceedings from the show that we did in Iringa came to help out the kids here because they were about to lose their home and stuff like that. So those are kind of issues that I'm working on at the same time to make sure that the youth get an opportunity. But even we artists are also part of the community, and I hate to see fellow artists fail to run their business, to run their artistry, just because they don't have enough exposure and knowledge and being able to conduct their business to a point where they can sustain their life and be there and make the impact that they're supposed to make. Because it's kind of hard to give back when you don't really get much. You know, so one of my agendas at the moment is making sure that I could do these seminars with especially younger artists, because the ones who did it before me, I mean, there's not much, you can never teach an old dog new tricks. So the younger generation, so that they don't fall into the same trap, I try to do this consultation, and hopefully with different organizations, financial institutions, you know, I mean, insurance companies, making sure they know the importance of insurance, know that what's the importance of having management, business manager, and different issues like that. Because we do music, we're supposed to be the voice of the community, but most of the time we find ourselves in a position where we in more shambles than even the regular person. It's kind of hard for me to be the icon, that person who everybody's looking at, because there are a lot of artists who got into frustration. They started using drugs and issues like that, just because the things were not going the way they were supposed to. So that's one of the issues that I'm currently looking forward to find partners in different people or organizations where we can have these seminars or workshops to making sure that we educate the people, especially the upcoming artists, so that they could get an opportunity to attack the music scene in a way that they could get some from it and be able to be in a position to give back the same way that Izzo Bizness would do, or Malaika or stuff like that, because they became successful from what they're doing. So basically, on what I've impacted my music, that's the positive way I would say. Or maybe I could brag a little bit. I'm a bilingual artist, so I do English and Swahili music. I'm one of the most influential artists who brought that back to the industry. Most people were doing bongo flavor in Swahili, but through my achievements and my perseverance and resilience, I was able to get people to really start looking at us the same way they look to artists who do it in Swahili strictly. So I wouldn't say myself only, but the likes of One the Incredible and Vanessa there. You know, Vanessa is bigger than us now, but yeah. So we did a lot for the English or bilingual artists. And now they're getting a voice, they can play it on radio and stuff like that. So my music impacted them too, because being able to get airplay on radio is something that's not easy, and that will open a lot of doors for these artists. So basically, I pride myself for being able to do that, or being a pioneer that much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that's very interesting though, because most of the time we tend to think of people we want to help as the community, and we forget that the community also includes our fellow artists. Yeah, so that's a very good thought. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone want to share anything that you're doing?
For me, I just have addition point to what Wakazi just said. For me myself, as a musician, I do have a lot of projects and I didn't put out yet because I'm just fear, like I'm worried, you know, according to our system in our country right now. You know, I can put something out and end of the day, the business is missing, you know. So I just really love you guys. You're listening to us right now, and if you can help us, because I do have a lot of projects, and for me sitting here as an artist, you know, and maybe looking to the street children suffering, or there is bad governance, you know, I'm not happy. You know, I just want to put something for my society so that people can hear and maybe we can get some help from different countries and what. So before we going forward, please guys, make sure that we're safe. Yeah, so that's my point. Because I have a lot of stuff, I have a lot of music, and there's a point like I'm scared to put it out because I'm a firstborn to my family. My dad looking at me, my mom, you know, I have young brother, I have kids. So I'm in a safe place. All right, so that's my point. You feel me? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You cannot be a voice if people are shutting you down, right?
Yeah, but I was saying you could use your artistry now to look like you're innocent, but you're actually not. I mean, we saw what Childish Gambino did. This is America was a big statement, you know what I mean? And Falls, but the bad guy did his rendition in Nigeria. It was a big statement. You can make it seem like it's comedic, but at the same time, the message goes there. Hey man, nah, you can do it, man. You can do it. Just be artistic, man. I'm telling you, because there's still people who get it. I remember Neo Amitego had said something, and all of a sudden he was supposed to report to the police station. But then later the president said he didn't do anything wrong. They had to let him go.
And because the issue was big,
right, I'm saying.
The issue was everywhere. So
but it's a business. You're a big artist. You're an international artist. But just make sure whatever you do is big enough so you can't get touched. I mean, you can still do it. I for instance, myself, when I see, you know, the biggest problem is this. Sometimes with the current situation we have with politics is, if you say something as if you're scared, they could sense the fear. Like a dog. The dog will sense that you're fearing and he will be barking at you. But if you go there and you don't show any fear, the dog will be like, who does he think he is? You see what I'm saying?
How would you go there without showing any fear?
Now you're an artist, you can speak up. Like for instance, me, I don't provoke people. I don't go there and try to to provoke their power and the position they're into. But if I find something that I don't understand, I can actually act.
Sorry.
I tweet my fool.
Yeah, I know you tweet. You remember that day we was in a studio, and you say, "Yo, I saw the car, man. Since yesterday, I don't want to go out." You remember? So that's my point.
Right.
That's my point.
So don't go out, but still say that. I went to Twitter, I said what I had to say, I stayed in the studio till morning, but I said it.
Yeah, so
and
my point is, we do have a lot of stuff to talk to, but we're scared. Yeah, we're scared, but we do have a lot of stuff to talk about our societies, what's going through right now, what's going on, but we're scared according to the situation, you know. Yeah, as I said, I'm a firstborn to my family. I don't want to be missed.
So
I just want to help my mom, my dad, my family. But the situation right now, there's a problem of corruption. It's a big problem right now. And I do have the song, but I send the song to the members of parliament. You know, there's some ministers, but they say, yo, take it chill, you know,
yeah, so,
right now. But I just want to say that that's the big problem, because people, they can't go to, if you're going to the hospital, you have to, a doctor like, yo, and then you get the service. If you want to go to the police, like, yeah,
everywhere you have to.
You feel me? Everywhere you have to. I just want to talk about that, but I'm scared if I'm going to talk about that tomorrow,
something's gonna
yeah.
So I like the way this conversation is going on, and I like it's very important for us to actually talk about what is actually our frustration, especially because we are talking about how we use our music to influence the society. So if there is anything that is coming in the way of that, then that's a problem. And I know, Professor, you want to say something.
I just have a question, so I can.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sure. So yeah, I wanted to say that because of time, we're gonna have to let this be a question and answer session, so that the audience can also contribute or ask questions, so that we can make this as interactive as possible. So you wanna start?
Yeah. Okay. Last thing I'll say, I promise. But the one thing that first of all, thank you for sharing your stories. I've been moved by what everyone has said, and when I got here, everyone said, "Oh, thank you for coming," and I realized that I should be grateful to all of you for sharing your stories, because I've learned so much from all of you. What I've heard all of you say, especially to the point about safety,
I've only been here for 5-6 months, so I don't know Tanzania as well as all of you do. But in the regimes that I've been traveling in around the world, and thinking of Egypt, or thinking of Istanbul, Turkey, or thinking of even the United States at this point, and India, and how things are changing and what can be said by journalists, intellectuals, and musicians, and artists. The one thing that I found that my colleagues around the world have found safety and security in is in public support, grassroots level support, numbers, and influential numbers, commercial numbers, so people who have money, right? It's unfortunate that it comes down to that, but people who have money, people who have influence, people who have the pen and the voice. And so how do we as artists, and it's a question to all of you as Tanzanian artists, how do we create that kind of grassroots level support, not just for our music, but for our agendas? So for social agendas, for you, I think sickle cell anemia is something that you've been very talking about, and I've been trying to follow in Swahili, and I've had colleagues who have been translating for me. But for all of you, the environment, social change, all the things that you've mentioned, how do we get our supporters, the 300,000, 400,000, whatever million supporters that you have, followers you have on Instagram, to be as passionate about your message and to come out and support you when it is that you put your money where your mouth is, right? Really, literally, put yourself in the line of fire and accept their support. How do we do that? How do we get them to be passionate about our content as much as it is about the entertainment value of our music?
Oh, to my side, I think it's not just us as artists are scared. It's everybody.
Right.
So if everybody's scared, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to say, "Oh, she's a good rapper," and that's it. That's the only thing they're going to say. So it's really hard to actually pull somebody like that who is scared of what's going to happen to their life. Because if you do it, it doesn't matter where you're at, because they're everywhere. They're just like, you did something wrong, you're caught. So people will be like, how am I going to do this? So I think and I believe if there's a system that can change and help, it's more about, it's more about the knowledge, because I believe it's our rights to say. So if we get the real knowledge, I think things like this, if we get it more and more and more, a lot of people are in it, people get a chance to actually get a chance to hear these things, I think it's more easier for people to relate to your thing, because otherwise there's no such thing. It's not gonna work. Yeah.
What I can say about the issue at the table, it was usually very easy for artists to express their emotions about issues that are going on in the community through their music, because it's a way to express your feelings and your emotional, but in a very sensitive way, in a way that is not harsh. So through music, you can express whatever is going on softly, but still express it nonetheless. But these days, it's even harder to do that, because your song, the one that you try to express whatever is going on in the community and everything, will be picked, and everybody would be like, no, this you said because of this, so this song can't go on radio, it can't go on TV. But what you're speaking about is something that is real, and it's something that is going on. It's an issue about, honestly speaking, it's an issue about freedom of expression. Like, we don't have that anymore. It's there in the Constitution. We're supposed to have it, but we really don't have it. So an artist would want to express their emotions, their feelings, what they're going through, but they can't because you don't have the freedom of expression that you should have. So basically, I also think that the people that we should go to, as you said, for maybe financial support, because it comes up to that, they're also involved in these things, like say corruption. You know, so it's hard for them. You would take your song to them and they'd be like, nah, don't put that out because it involves them. So it's becoming harder and harder, and it's like you're digging your own grave once you start to think about putting things out there. You're just digging your own grave.
On my side, I would say this: yes, we do have freedom of expression, but maybe freedom of publication and broadcast, that's what we don't have. Because I still have freedom to say whatever I can, but maybe these people here, they wouldn't broadcast that. Or maybe TCRA will be like, oh, you can't put that out. But I can still say it. One thing people need to understand is, through social media, we have created our own type of TV and radio. Until they shut Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, then we'll say we don't have that freedom. Because at the moment, yes, we don't have Jamii Forum, oh, you can say this on radio and TV, but I have 200,000 following. I could still like write whatever I want and people read. One of my most, the post that got the most reactions on my page to date, ever since I opened Instagram, is the one when I posted a picture supporting the Maandamano, Mange Kimambi's Maandamano. Yeah, I supported it. A lot of people were scared to do that. Nothing happened to me because basically it's freedom of expression. I could express myself. I'm wishing them well, Maandamano. If that's what you believe, you can do that. Nothing happened to me. The people who actually were pro Maandamano, they were so happy that they got support from the artists. I got a lot of people downloading my album that week. It's like, man, you support us, we'll support your album. So all of a sudden my sales went up. People was like, man, I never used to like your music, but since you supporting this one, man, you intelligent. Where can I get your album? So that's the biggest reaction is that Maandamano thing. Nothing happened to me because really I didn't break any laws. The problem is we do have freedom of expression, but we just don't know that we have it.
I think is maybe what you did, and it was easy for you to do that because nobody aliandamana. Because if somebody did, then you will be messy. I'm just telling you. I promise you, because I think that's the way it is.
Probably if you came out to andamana.
And don't forget your Wakazi, Wabiru, Wasira. You understand? You understand? You're in the system, bro.
Nah.
Okay, yeah, I like the fact that you brought up social media because I feel like that sometimes we tend to undermine the power of social media and the influence that we have for those people who are following us. And like you say, so following up what you say, I think the best way for an artist to actually get the buy-in from the community, like create that grassroots movement, is from the channels that we already have, like the social media. So get them to know what you want to say, get them to follow you, get them to make sure that they are your people. And then when you have that power, and you go out there and say something, you have a backup. I'm not saying you put your life at risk, but that could be one of the ways that you can do it.
What?
Okay. Is there any question or comment from the okay. We take one. Yeah, we take one here. We take one. I think we do some. We'll be gender sensitive a little bit. So a guy, and then a woman, and then we'll go that way.
Thanks. As much as I would hate to say what I'm about to say, but I think we really, on a serious note, in the music business, we are missing something very important, and that is the numbers. We actually running this business as a single person thing. But I think it's about time we look at this as an institution kind of a thing. Because, yes, you guys started off, everything that you do and you have a big influence and all that. But something was said by the professor about what are the numbers from the rich people? What are the numbers from the politicians? What are the numbers from the grassroots people? I think those are the very important issues that we have to start looking at them right now. As we go from here, that should be the mission. That should be the future. Because when you have all that with you, you have that power, that real power of saying like, okay, if you're pushing this, it's not about me, it's about the whole team. I got about 1 million people behind me. In them I have politicians, I have business people, I have normal people, I have everybody that I need to push the agenda. Not only the music, but the whole concept of the agenda. I think we all have a lot of big ideas and a lot of big issues that will change our society on big time, like big time. But if you don't really have the right approach and we just look at this, that we are artists and people have to listen to us just like that, no. I think it's time we need to look at this on a different way. Like we need to build the real numbers of any person that we will need along the way, and make sure that the agendas we have, the issues we have, all the ideas we have goes to some extra mile. Because listening to what Wakazi is doing in the environment thing, if you had the real numbers, I think we are speaking of something very big, and you know that, something that would impact and being big supporter with a lot of people. Same with what Malaika is doing, same with what Izzo is, has been speaking about, like everybody else. So I think what we should carry forward right now is the number issue. How are we going to build a number and see that the agendas and issues we have could really go big and impact the society, at large. That is my take.
Yeah, so actually measuring the impact that we're making through numbers and statistics and stuff. So yeah, that lady, sorry, you come next.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you, the artist, in front of me and the whole people. But for what I see, the artists are the mirror of the society. The song you're producing, the song you're giving to us, it's reflect, it's a voice, it spreads so easily and very quickly to the society. For example, Izzo Bizness, when he released the album Ongea, and I'm sure, I think I was in Form 6, and I really liked the song, and the song was very famous in the society. So I think this is a time for the artist right now to really understand, to know that your values in the society, that people we are looking at you, and we are looking at you guys, you are the one who can speak for us. Because I'm here, if I'm speaking, only 10, 12 people, 20 people, they can listen to me. But it's very different from you guys. You have power, you're famous. So if you speak, if you just write something, or if you compose a music, and you just release it, it's 1,000 people, a whole Tanzania, a whole East Africa, they know about our problem. So guys, this is really your time. You don't need to go and say like, no, I cannot do this. No, I'm really in hand with Wakazi, say like, you can just compose it, but not that way openly, but you can use the artistic way to do it. So I think that guys, you can do it, because we really see and we really appreciate what you're doing, but we need that thing you're doing, that famous thing you have, the power you have in the society. We wanted you to release it. We wanted you guys to help us. I think we can do it, and you guys, you can do it. The other thing, I'm dealing with Fikia project here in ICAP. We're dealing with the young women, the adolescent girls. So you guys, you can also help in helping the vulnerable young girls who are out there in vulnerable places. So please guys, we depend on you. you guys are great and you can do it. We can change this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I like the fact that you inspired us and also gave us an opportunity. So we're going to follow up. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I think this is very encouraging and very motivating. I just had maybe two challenges to the panel. One is in reaction to, I think, the fear around challenging where there's like a concentration of power, like government, etc. It's a challenge to say perhaps it's a lot riskier to challenge, big systems and big structures. But actually sometimes I think we may even overestimate their power in terms of affecting the livelihoods of people on a daily basis. Why I say so is perhaps, in the millions of people, there are billions of decisions that they make every day. And the MP isn't there when, a man is beating his wife. The MP isn't there when maybe a young man impregnates an adolescent girl and disappears and doesn't take responsibility. So there is political change, but I think there's so much opportunity around social change. It may not be as attractive, it may not be as profitable, but it's perhaps even more powerful. And I think the power of role modeling, can come into play. So perhaps there's power to change out there, but there's a lot more that could be done in challenging, the day-to-day issues that Tanzanians face, which leads to my next question about how can artists organize themselves to be a power in and of themselves, so that the change that you make is not on invitation by other people, or is not in response or in retaliation to what exists in the space, but you're a power in and of yourselves. I know the nature of your work requires you to be not isolated, but to focus on you, yeah? Yeah, it's very competitive, but social change and competition are not compatible. In fact, the challenges are the ones that compete to overwhelm people, and the only way to really address them is to come together. So I'm wondering, what is being done or can be done to bring artists together on common issues, so that you create your own power, your own negotiating terms, so that you're not like poster people to the work that other people do, but you have your own agenda and you get resources for that.
Yeah, before I let the panelists respond to that, I want to know how much time do we have? Are people comfortable? Can we still do this a little longer? Okay. Yeah. Do you have a question or a comment? A comment. Okay, can we just maybe let them respond first and then we'll come to you. Thank you. Anyone wants to respond? So the question is basically, y'all doing separate projects and social change issues, but is there any way that you can, and by you I don't mean like specifically you, but artists can come together for like a joint social movement that can be much more impactful than doing individual work? Anyone?
There was a very huge disconnect between artists from the previous era, the current era, and the so-called the future generation. So whatever you're asking us to do now is kind of like not feasible with the state of disunity. So what we have been doing so far is having initiatives to unite us all and come together to have common grounds as far as the artistry is involved, and then the business, and then from that, then we'll go to these different social issues. We do have, for instance, for the rap, we do have this WhatsApp group. Is it me? No. We have these different WhatsApp groups for the artist unity where we discuss different issues together, and if one of us get into trouble, or let's say one passes away or loses a family member, we come up with donations and try to participate as much as we can. And also, it was during the time where we were talking about copyright issues with Kosota and different stuff. We came together, we had a committee, I was part of it, and we went to see the minister. It was Nape then, and Mujagi on the other side, because we're dealing with two different ministers at the same time. things got halted a little bit, but then we resumed with that one. We're still talking about coming together as artists, and the groups are still there, even though we don't discuss as much. But then on the hip-hop side, for instance, we do have the hip-hop community. Now, even in the hip-hop community, there's still not unity in there. So what I took the initiative to do is to separate the younger generation and the current one and the old ones. So we do have the group where everybody's in there, but we do also have groups where I know this is the future. So the future needs to know this, this, and this. Yes, you can hear all the poison in the other group, but then the future has to make sure that they're concentrating on this part as well. As soon as we have the unity as far as artistry and the business of the music is intact, then from there on after we could start discussing different issues. It's kind of hard right now to tell an artist, like, okay, let's go deal with the orphan kids, or let's go donate this and that, while they start still fighting to have ends meet. So it's kind of like difficult to come together with such an initiative. So basically we're working towards that as soon as we get together. And Rosarie, you in the group, you remember? Yeah, she's in one of the group of the future, because we see people like Rosarie, Frida, they're all in that group. They're the future of in the next 5, 6, 7 years, they're going to be running the airwaves and doing different issues, you know, so to speak. So it's kind of like there's a group special for them where they could discuss among themselves. If I get information from organizations, from top dogs in the music industry, I'm like kind of like the connect to tell them what we're supposed to do or what they should do, or if they have any questions about Kosota, Basata, and so to speak, I could relay the information to them, so that as soon as they set with that, it's going to be easy for them to come and be like, okay, now what do we have to work? What project do you have for us? Can we work on these issues? Like, for example, there's the Mazingira issue by Honorary General Makamba. Okay, can we work on that, and so to speak? So basically we'll get there, but it's baby steps until we get to that moment, because right now people are scared to say. I mean, Izzo came up with a song talking about stuff people related to, but now he can't even say that because it's hard. So imagine, until he can get to the point where he could say whatever he wants and is comfortable, then we'll get back to usual business of reaching out to the community in a way like that, in a helping hand.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, and like Wakazi say, like I'm not saying because for the people that are in my bag, man. Yeah, so I'm scared. But the other challenge that I see is the medias, the witness, right? Like you can have such a song and take it to the media and they say, yo, no, do some danceable track, you know, like we don't need this. Yeah, so the other challenge is medias. Like you can have something for the society and they say, yo, this is not selling, people they tired to listen, some stuff like this. So I guess that's the big problem too.
I want to add to what he's trying to say. I think our country is in somewhat a box of music should be in a certain way. You should sing like this. You should do it like this. So it's a norm that people are used to. But when you come with something different, it takes time. It takes time for you to get to people's ears and people to actually understand what you're trying to do or what message you're trying to put across. So we are all trying to get there first. Then we can join hands and say, let's do this or let's do that. But we're trying to actually first break that box and say, there's more that we can do. We're limitless. Yeah.
To what I think, you know, as one of the people who are in the media, I believe even media people are scared. Why they're scared is because I think there's no knowledge about how strong the society is. Because we're just saying like we want to do something, but the society isn't ready for that. Maybe you can bring your music and it's perfect music for the society, but when they hear you, they see, wow, this is nice, but they can't really do a thing because there's no knowledge about it. So I think the most important thing, if we get a chance to get the knowledge, if we get people who can actually tell us how powerful we are as the society. I think that can help. Because if we say media cannot play it, it's because they also want money, you know, at the end of the day. So they cannot play something that they know this thing is not going to bring money, and it's also going to bring problems, you know, as a media company. I'm just saying, I don't know. But I think the most important thing that I wish, and I'm hoping one day it will happen, the knowledge, the truth. That people can sit down and have the knowledge. They can tell it, like, this is the knowledge you have to learn. This is the thing that you're allowed as a person, as a society, you're that powerful, more than any government. I think that's the most important thing. And our society, the system of education, doesn't let us do all that. So if we want to change, I think the first thing we can change is the education. That's what I think. Yeah.
I just want to add to what she said, or comment to whatever she said. Media generally, and artists, and the whole industry is strong, just as you said. But media and artists, we are strong because we are one voice that reaches millions and millions of people. It doesn't have to be Tanzanians, it could be Uganda, Kenya, everywhere, all over the world. So I feel like it's up to us, actually. It's just a call out, like it's up to us as artists and as the media, because we are the voice of the people. Like, sisi ni vioo vya jamii. Meaning whatever we do impacts the community and the society to actually act the way we say, or whatever we do. So basically, we have the power to impact the community in a way of change. So it's up to us, really.
Yeah. Before I let you make a comment, I just want to kind of like summarize the question and the answers that we've been getting from the panelists. Collaborations. So these collaborations can be between artists, and to get there, we need to create the systems first. We need to make sure that these artists actually can sit down and talk about the common stuff that they're facing, they're dealing with. But also, there is collaboration between artists and media. So in doing that, there probably need to be a lot of capacity building and knowledge sharing amongst artists, but also with media, and maybe some dialogues that includes the artist and the media and everyone who is involved in the music business, to actually talk about how we can use music to make social impact. So, wow, this is heating up.
The professor had asked earlier here about how do we take advantage of grassroots following and stuff like that. I just want to give you a quick example. Why I would say sometimes we're just lazy, or we just don't know what we're doing. How many of you here know Singeli music? Everybody knows Singeli. Singeli artists actually use that grassroots method to get to radio, to get to mainstream. They were not getting played anywhere. They were just played in the streets. The buzz in the streets got so big that mainstream media had to go to the street and take him and bring him to radio. So even this music that we're talking about, this for social impact, the positive, whatever, it's not necessarily you have to take it to radio. We could just release it in the streets on the grassroots level. It could get that buzz that it needs and get the following that it needs, and it could make it to the mainstream. Or even if it doesn't make it to the mainstream, you already reached the right people, the right target market. So we already made the impact that we're looking for. So we could use the Singeli example, because Singeli is not really, people were even hating on Singeli when he made it to radio. Us, the urban style of artists, we are hating on Singeli, but the media is trying to make money. Singeli has a following. The numbers, analytics show that Singeli is loved in the streets. They could make money from that, so they had to play it, regardless. So we were making noise while we are lazy, taking our music to the people so that we could have the similar following that Singeli artist has, so to speak. So the grassroots thing, the professor, I don't see him right now, but that's one of the examples that we could actually use to impact, not necessarily release the music or put it on your album, but we could take it directly to the people, the intended target market, and they could take you to the mainstream. Or even if you don't go mainstream, they will know what type of person and your message and whatever you're trying to advocate, we already reached the intended people, so to speak.
Yeah, she want to say something real quick and then we can get it.
Niweza kuzungumzia kwenye swala la uoga, alisema Izzo Bizness. Mimi nafikiri kama Nelson Mandela angekuwa ni muoga, ile nchi isingeweza kukombolewa. Kwa hiyo kama sisi ni wasanii, tuna ubunifu mwingi sana ambao tunaweza kuufanya, na kile kitu ambacho tunataka kuipa jamii kikaweza kufika kwa uzuri. Kuna lugha ya kirafiki ambayo tunaweza kuitumia na ujumbe ukao umefika, na I think kitu ambacho tunataka kukifikisha kwenye jamii kikaa kimefika. Na kitu kingine ambacho kilikuwa kinaongelewa ni kuhusiana na kuunganika kama wasanii tuweze kufanya kitu. Kuna challenge. Kwa mfano kama mimi nikisema kwamba nimekuwa ambassador wa kitu fulani na ninawaambia wasanii wenzangu kwamba tufanye kitu fulani ili tuweze kuelimisha jamii. Kuna watu kwa mfano kama nikiingia kwenye group alafu nikaelezea kwa kitu, kuna watu watasema kavuta mpunga. Umeelewa? Kavuta mpunga, kwa hiyo anatuletea habari zake ili tuweze kufanya kazi naye. Kwa hicho pia ni kipingamizi kikubwa, na mnashindwa kushirikiana na watu wengine kwa sababu watu wanakuwa wanajua umechukua hela. Au hata kama mkiwa watatu wanasema kwamba hawa watu wamechukua hela sehemu fulani na sasa hivi wameanzisha project ya kitu fulani. Kwa hiyo hatuwezi kuwaunga mkono kwa sababu wao hiyo hela imeenda kwao. Yeah. Kwa hiyo mimi nafikiri kwamba kuna wasanii ambao wana sense, wanajua umuhimu wa kwenda zaidi ya muziki. Na kwa kufanya hivyo mimi nafikiri kwa watu ambao tuko hapa sisi ni mashahidi na tunaelewa tunachokifanya, naamini hivyo. Kwa hiyo sisi tunaweza kuwa ni watu wa kwenda kufundisha wasanii wengine waelewe umuhimu kwamba kuna muziki, lakini vile vile kupitia muziki kwa wewe ni kioo cha jamii, kuna vitu ambavyo unaweza kuvisaidia kwenye jamii. Kwa hiyo sisi pia tunaweza tukawa ni walimu wa kuweza kuwafundisha watu wengine ambao hawaelewi kuhusiana na hii kitu. Nafikiri hiyo itakuwa ni foundation nzuri sana ya kuweza kufanya hii movement ambayo tunaiongelea sasa hivi. Lakini vile kwenye media ukipeleka nyimbo kama umeongelea, labda sisi hapa ambao tuko hapa tukafanya kazi ambao labda inaongelea kitu kama mazingira hapa alikuwa anazungumzia mwenzangu hapa. Ukipeleka pale utakutana na presenter Frida, unajua ile kitu akishaona kwamba hii kitu inazungumzia kitu, yani akili yao imeshatuni kwamba ukifanya kile kitu ni upo kwenye hela, yani hiyo taasisi imetoa hela. Kwa kuna umuhimu kwanza wa kuweza kutengeneza labda ni slogan ili hao watu waweze kuelewa kuanzia media na wasanii wenyewe waelewe kwamba hiki kitu ambacho tunafanya kinahusu jamii, kinahusu watu ambao ni sisi wenyewe na vizazi ambao vinakuja. Asante.
I think I need to summarize what she said. Yeah, so she spoke about pretty much three things or maybe four, and you can remind me if I forget. So the first thing she said, she was responding to the point of fear, and she gave an example of a revolutionist, Nelson Mandela. He wasn't afraid, that's why he was able to do what he did. So the solution to that could be being more creative, use friendly messages so that people can actually don't feel like you're trying to rebel or you're trying to be against, but you're just trying to say something, right? So that was the first thing she said. The second thing she said was about collaboration. And that the main challenge with artist collaboration is that most of these projects, most of these development projects that when they come, or an artist seem to start an initiative, there's always a mindset there's money behind the project, or there's money behind that initiative. So it's very hard to get other people to trust that they can just come on board, do stuff, and get home without any money or without getting paid. So that's a challenge, and it's also related to how the media responds to those kind of projects. So she gave an example. For example, these artists came together and did a song about environment conservation and put it on the take it to the radio. People start to think, oh, this is actually a project of a certain institution, organization, and there's a lot of money behind it. So these guys are making money, and I'm here playing their music, and I'm not getting anything. No, I'm not doing that. So those are like the challenges that she highlighted. Is there anything that I'm missing? Cool. Now your time, finally.
you very much. I really appreciate this panel. I'm not from here, I'm Ugandan, and I really understand your fear from basing on my home context. I believe the whole East Africa, it's the same situation going on. But what I would like to, to pass on to you, the change tactics, the poetry, the way he said it, the way you bring out your music, don't go for the juggler. Make it comical, so that when you bring it out, we understand what you're saying, but the politicians won't take it that you're attacking them. And what I would like to say, this generation, you're lucky enough. I remember one of the songs I remember from here was Mr. Politician. Nahaya? Exactly. We had to listen to East African radio station to get all those songs. Right now you can bypass the journalists or the media because there is social media, there is YouTube, you can upload and we will download and we will pass, we will WhatsApp, all that. You have that advantage. You guys have power. You really have the power to sway us, big time. So just tap on that power and you pass the message across, and then we move. Another thing I would like to pass on, there are many, many projects. If that angle is not working, you can, diverge, detour to a different angle. There are many, many projects there that you can, go and touch, and we will understand you, we will know what you're trying to give to us. If politics is not working and it's not coming, there are orphanages like he's working, there are environmental things, there is gender-based violence, and right now in East Africa, it's no longer gender-based violence. Women, now men are facing the wrath because they're the ones being violated. And it's something on, sat on because African men are not supposed to, to be violated. But it is happening. All these things are coming out. So with you who are in the limelight and heading us, we can't follow. So you have the power. Do not sit on it, please. Tap it. It's there. Thank you.
Can you allow me to stop being a moderator just for 1 minute? Yeah, I want to get away from being a moderator and being an artist. So now I'm speaking as an artist. Yes, artists have power. Artists have the audience, have influence, have everything. But another thing that we should also, consider as the audience and everyone here is that activism is not a one-man show. And that is why a friend there talked about collaboration. But collaboration is also not only about between artists, but also other partners who are in the field doing the same thing. So oftentimes in our country, in our communities, you find that big organizations are coming in the country and they have these fantastic projects that requires the presence of the artists or the music. The artists to influence whatever they're trying to do, or maybe to mobilize the community to do these massive concerts that people can come. Those processes, most of the time, are either about money or very tokenistic. So an artist is just brought to the stage just to entertain people, and then they go. But these are the same artists who are very passionate, maybe very passionate about those causes, but they're not very fully engaged through the processes of developing those campaigns and then create impact. So capacitating them on the knowledge, understanding actually what the real issue is and how to go about it. So they're being engaged into the process from the very, very beginning to the point where they go out there and talk about it. Not just, we're here, we're doing this malaria campaign, and then, let's call Izzo, let's call Rosary to come and do the show, and off they go. I don't feel that that's real impact that the artist can do. Engaging them from the very, very beginning, engaging us. Oh my God. Yeah, engaging us from the very, very beginning is key. Now I'm back to being a moderator. Okay.
Okay. Am I the only one feeling extremely cold inside here?
No,
I thought you guys are cold-blooded. Okay. We've all been beating around the bush, but all of you have been giving good points. Some of you have spoken of using it's a more of amesema kwamba lugha nyepesi ambayo haitaonyesha kwamba tunawashambulia politicians. But if there's something disturbing, a burning issue in the society, it's not and it's so lazima kwamba all of the artists sit together and make a song or something campaigning against the injustice, be it political, social, economic, whatever. Lakini inawezekana kwamba issue imechoma watu wengi, umeona? Katolea mfano hapa gender injustice, kwamba kuna wanaume wanapigwa. It's true. Mimi leo nikitoa wimbo unaotetea wanaume wanaopigwa, people will be like anapigwa ndio maana ametoa wimbo. Lakini leo hii Wakazi akatoa wimbo, Izzo the same thing, Diamond Platnumz the same thing. Nobody's going to say that all these artists are getting beaten by their women. No. But if everybody decides to make a song going against whatever injustice is going on in the society, we can all do it. Like, if we all say no to political injustice, Wakazi makes a song, Rosa makes a song, Bize, Fifi, Malaika, all of us decide to make, each one of us decides to speak about it from a song. Haitatokea kwamba like Rosa atadisappear, Izzo atadisappear, Fifi, Malaika, mimi leo hii mika wote tupotee. Diamond Platnumz, like wasanii wote tutapotea. They can't do that. So if it's a no, it's a no, and you can talk about it. And we are free to do it, long as all of us speak where we're supposed to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. So more emphasis in collaborations. Thank you so much. Maybe this is gonna be the last. Is there any burning issue that somebody wants to say? So we're gonna. You want to say? Okay. Thank you. So you're gonna go. He's gonna go, and then we'll get the final remarks from the artist, and then I think we'll be done for the day.
Okay, me, I'm a little bit, nataka nifanya some additional comments and some advice. If it's hard to go the easy way, for sababu we want to be seen that I'm the one who made the music, then I think we should do it the different way. Go anonymous, you see? Go to a music producer, make a very good music with very strong points, no name in it, change your voice, change the way you flow, put it on social media. Trust me, it's gonna be the best. And one thing I'm gonna say, it's all about, we spoke about collaboration. You know, these guys of media, we media, we've got some problems. As I was sitting there, someone came and asked me, hey big girl, what are these guys talking? I said, I don't know. At what time are they finishing? I said, man, I don't know. He said, okay, they're not done, I'm going. You see, he wasn't even listening, because they always have normal routines. They have to, they want to have the same news every day. That Izzo said, we're in certain, it's like a mindset problem that most of we media have. And not that we cannot support the artist, but the problem is we're in a certain mindset. We want the same news every day. We want to, you got cheating, we want to find a new boyfriend. That's the news we want. But what's the good part? What Izzo? What's the good part with Otuck? We don't write that. So I think when we stick that anonymous plan, it's gonna work, and I'll help you advertise that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the help, man.
Well, thank you very much. I think I'll build from there, and of course from the points made by others, including the issue of collaboration. Maybe starting from the concern raised by our friend Izzo. Yeah. It's a very genuine concern, and we shouldn't play it down. We know what has been happening in the country. And so for that reason, I think we need to empathize with him. What I want to say about that is that there are many ways to communicate, just as other people have said. But I think the problem we have is that we don't have the skills to communicate. So my call to us, not to the artists who we tend to sacrifice, we want to put them in front You know, if they are chopped, they are chopped. We are hiding. My call is to us to collaborate in truth, in such a way that if we can build their capacity, we have to build their capacity. If we have the finances to support them, let us support them financially. Or if we know some tools that we can help them use to communicate in ways that will not hurt them or bring them down, then let us contribute. Let us do it together. Let us not, push them and stay. Kwa sababu sisi tunapenda kuona mashujaa wanakwenda mbele, wakipigwa huko sisi tumepona. That's the problem. So I'm actually calling on us to collaborate in such a way that we involve them from the beginning, just as the moderator has said. If we have ideas that we think these people will, through their influence, will take them forward, then let's involve them from the beginning. We have people here from the media, we have people from the academia, we have people from, NGOs. Let us look at ways in which we can build these people so that we can work together. That is the point I wanted to make.
Yeah. And that's the whole purpose of this conversation. That's the whole purpose of this meeting, is to find ways that we can all come together, coming from different spaces, and leveraging on what we as artists have to actually make impact. Not to point fingers to like, you don't do this, you don't do this. It's much more of a collaboration. So thank you so much. This has been a very, very lovely and engaging session. I want to give you one round of comments. If you have, please make it short. Anyone? Like, what is the last thing that you want to say to the audience, to everyone who is listening? I know we have media here. They can help us pass that message through.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who came through for this panel, and actually I'm thankful and grateful to be part of it, to be invited to be part of it, and I enjoyed the discussions, very interesting, and I got some new ideas, new perspectives of things, so I'll use them, so to speak. And maybe I will challenge the youth, because now the media, not necessarily you, but the media or whoever's going to get this message, is to take control of their destiny. That's one thing people need to remember, that we, as music, as artists, we celebrate right now, we're in the era of the DIY, the do-it-yourself era. So as far as your destiny and knowing your purpose, what's your passion and what are you set out to do out here, if you see injustices, you see inequalities, you see certain issues that you do not like or you would like to see improve, take the initiative and do it yourself. Voice your voice out there, so the people who are like-minded as you are going to support you. Maybe not directly by saying yeah in public, but maybe you will reach out to people later. They will tell you, what you're doing. We see what you're doing. We like what you're doing. So hopefully we could support you in whichever way that you can do, because as we say, the academia is here, media is here, financial institutions and politicians. I know there's certain things I've been saying on my social media. Some people look at me like I'm crazy, but I go out there, I meet politicians, I'll be like, man, don't you want to run for position? So they'd be like, okay, we think you have something that you could give out to the community when you're given a platform. So you never know who's watching, so just take control of your destiny, making sure that whatever you see out there that you do not like, remember you have this freedom, speech, expression, and everything. Use them, and then make sure that you do not let anybody or anyone let you down or stop you from doing what you feel is right, because at the end of the day, I would rather live forever just because I died early. I don't know if you understand me. If I do something today and I get killed, everybody, I'm gonna have a statue. But you may be scared today, but guess what? After you're done here, nobody remember you when you're gone. But I would rather live forever that way just because I died early. So basically, that's my point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wakazi. Anyone else?
There's one thing that I've learned about life. I think I might be intelligent, I might be everything that I am, but I also know for a fact that I know nothing. And if I know nothing, one thing I'm supposed to be having is knowledge. I need to get the education. So as a person, as an artist, I think everybody that's look up to me, that thinks Frida as an influencer, should focus on getting the knowledge, because that's the first thing. If you get the knowledge, you can take anything, because you know exactly what you want, you know how you're gonna take it. But the problem is we do not have the knowledge. So my voice will always stand on the knowledge. I just want that in my life, and I just want in everybody's life that knows how important it is to be in a world and to live, and to actually live and not just survive. That's it.
Yep, knowledge is power. We all need that.
Yeah, for me, it was a pleasure to be here, and I just thank you guys again for this big opportunity. And you talk about collaboration, only here in TZ, the only collaboration that we're allowed to do when some big problems happens. Yeah, like that. You remember the accident happened in Arusha? Like over 32 kids were killed, died, and this problem happened at Kilosa, the floods, you feel me? So those are the collaboration that we are allowed to do here. When you come up with other different idea, they're then gone.
I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be here today. I'm thankful that you would take your time to even listen to us and stuff. But what I want to say to everybody in here and everybody who is watching is that we as artists, take us as your mics. Like, we are a voice that you can use too. So like, tell us what you want us to talk about, because that's the other major way that we can collaborate with you to be able to put out a message. Because maybe what we're going through is not what you're going through. We want to know what you're going through too. Maybe when I go to the studio, I get the vibe to just write a club song. But the community out there is going through some real stuff. There's like real life. I was doing a song in a video in South Africa the other day, and I saw this street that is just too real. Like, the life there is just too excessively real. And I told myself, like, yo, Rosa, you feel like you've had life? You haven't. These things are real. It's out there. So I might not go through what you're going through. So tell me, what are you going through? Email me, call. It's definitely my manager's number, but I mean, call, text, do whatever, so we can get what you're going through and put it out there, because we are the voice, but we need to know what you're going through too, because you matter, maybe even more than us.
Yeah, and last thing, sorry for being too much. We're talking about support. Like, we really need your support, guys. For example, me, myself, I do have this song called Tusiwatese, talking about the problems that women who lost their husbands, you know, going through. Like, the song has 7 months and the viewers 28K. And I do have the song called Remote, 1 month, 141K. You can see. So we need your support. Like, people, they don't support real stuff. I'm crying, like, sometimes I'm looking like, yo, if people, they like Remote, like, they don't like this 28K, 7 months. Talking about the problems that women facing after lost their husbands, you know.
Yeah. That thing is real. It's true. It's very, very, very true. Malaika, you're the one who hasn't said anything, final remarks, maybe.
Well, napenda kuwashukuru watu wote waandaaji wa mjadala huu, kwa sababu ninaamini pia kupitia watu ambao wako hapa, pia wao pia watakuwa ni sauti ya watu wengine kwa mitaani kueleza kitu ambacho tumeweza kukijadili sehemu hii hapa. Lakini pia nizidi kukazia katika point ambayo nilikuwa nimeongea mwanzoni kuhusiana na media, zaidi isiwe tu kuzungumzia fulani ametoa wimbo fulani amefanya kitu kwa fulani, kwa sababu yule ni kioo cha jamii. Hiyo pia na kuzungumzia katika mazuri ambayo anayafanya. Hii itasaidia katika watu ambao wanamfuatilia huyo mtu kuweza kujua umuhimu wa kitu ambacho anakifanya. na sio mabaya tu. Kuna mema ambayo pia artist wanayafanya, lakini hayaonekani kwa sababu media hazizungumzii. Asante.
Thank you so much, everyone, my lovely panel, for your very, very good contribution. We started out with a fear that, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? My friend Trevor was like running crazy around here, but it turned out to be great. So yeah, we thank you for coming, and everyone at the audience, thank you for coming. You want to say something? No, okay. That's it, it's a wrap.